Hey, welcome everybody, Scott with Decoy Pro, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about the different seasons for goose hunting. And basically I'm just going to kind of put it into three different categories: early season, mid-season, and late season. And basically just to kind of help you understand the differences between some of the seasons are, with the early season, primarily you're going to be hunting the geese that are local geese to your area, meaning that they've been there the whole year, and that's just wherever they happen to stop their migration. And typically the flocks at this point of year are going to be a little bit smaller in size, so you might be able to get away with a smaller decoy setup at that time because the geese aren't congregating together for the migration, and you're going to notice that the flocks are smaller locally, and so a smaller decoy spread can be effective at that point. The other advantage of the early season is that that geese haven't been hunted yet for basically an entire year, and so as you get set up, you do have that advantage that some of the geese, they haven't been hunted for a year, and so they're not going to be expecting it, and so sometimes you can have really good success. Also, the younger geese that were just born over that last year, they don't have any experience yet of being shot at, and so that can definitely be to your advantage. One of the downsides perhaps to early season is that there are a lot of goose hunters that want to rush out right away, for opening day and start goose hunting, and so that can be the one disadvantage is that there's going to be maybe more hunters out there and a little bit more competition to say get permission to hunt a private property or whatever. But sometimes that can be to your advantage too, if you're in an area where you do have permission to hunt and there's other hunters nearby. People shooting at geese all around can get them off one field and coming your direction or whatever, so that can also be a benefit as well. As you move into the mid-season, the flocks will start to get a little bit larger typically as geese start to migrate and get a little bit the congregate with the flocks, but then they're starting to be shot at a little bit, so they're going to start to become a little bit more wary. But here is, the flocks, since they're getting a little bit larger, you'll need to increase your decoy spread size a little bit. And then also, there'll be probably more people out hunting, it's still warm enough where everybody's willing to go out and that type of thing. So mid-season is still a great time. Like I said, just kind of need to increase your spread size a little bit. And then as you move into the late season, one advantage is people might stop hunting because typically at that time, I live in Minnesota, it gets a lot cooler, and many times people stop hunting after it gets much colder, so you might see a decrease in the number of goose hunters out there, so not as much competition to get permission to hunt land and that type of thing. And this time of year, the migration is in full effect, so you're going to typically want a little bit larger decoy spread at that point. That's where you'll put out all your decoys. But the other thing is that geese have been hunted quite a bit at that point. And so it's important to kind of mix up your decoy spread and really pay attention to what the geese are doing at this time, because they've been hunted over different decoy spreads at that point, and if everybody's looks the same, you might want to try doing some things different. So if you've really put out a huge spread and you're not noticing any luck, maybe try really narrowing it down, or rather than doing a whole bunch of calling, maybe you stop calling completely, or you really back it off and just do some things different and mix it up, because again, the geese by the late season have been hunted quite a bit, and now they're used to those type of things, and they're starting to pick out the decoys. And so if you can do some different things to mix it up and make your spread look different than the rest of them out there, then that might help you with success as well. So hopefully this information is helpful as you get going with goose hunting, and I'll talk to you in the next video.